You've seen them. You scroll TikTok, and there it is. Some employee, phone in hand, marching into their manager's office. The audio is shaky, the voice is cracking, but the message is clear. I'm done. I quit. This entire place is a joke. This is loud quitting. The glorious, viral, digital age bonfire of the bridges. And when I look at the comment sections, I see the same old script. I see the same tired complaints. Gen Z is just entitled. Nobody wants to work anymore. This is just performative nonsense for clicks. In my day, we just left quietly. I look at this trend, and I see the analysis, and I think the diagnosis is completely wrong. This isn't a snowflake problem. This is an entitlement rearing its ugly head. This isn't the start times of a conflict. This is the loud, explosive, and inevitable end of one. This is the symptom. The cause? Well, the cause is the part we're not supposed to talk about. The critique is missing the real story. Let's talk about it. This isn't a choice. It is the last resort. It's the final, desperate flare from a ship the captain has ignored. See, before loud quitting became the trend, what was the buzzword? Quiet quitting. The silent protest. The act of just checking out, doing the bare minimum, reclaiming your time, and emotionally divesting from a job that is completely divested from you. It was a whisper. A million employees lowering their voices, protecting their peace, and just trying to survive. And what did the system do? How did the corporate machine react? It called them lazy. It wrote articles about disengagement. It held meetings about re-engaging the workforce. They don't listen to whispers. A quiet protest is one they can ignore. A quiet resignation is one they can file away. An HR feedback form is a document they can bury. You send your honest feedback into the void, a digital black hole of HR bureaucracy, and what do you get back? Silence. Or worse, a survey. A 5-point scale asking you to rate your own sense of belonging while your workload doubles and your pay stays flat. So you try to be professional. You try to manage up. You try to use the proper channels. And the channels are all clogged. The system proves, day after day, that your quiet, professional, adult concerns are just noise. They are static. They are an inconvenience to be managed, not a problem to be solved. So when I see someone finally break, when I see them film that final, fiery exit, I'm not surprised. I'm just watching the inevitable result of pressure meeting a sealed container. You cannot tell people to speak up and then put tape over their mouths. You cannot ignore the whisper and then get mad at the shout. This isn't a new age tantrum. This is cause and effect. This is physics. This is the sound of the ignored finally finding a microphone. And what are they yelling about? They're yelling about the LIE, the single biggest, most toxic, most manipulative lie in modern corporate culture. You know the one. We're not just a company. We're a family. A family? Really? Show me the family that makes you fill out a timesheet for a funeral. Show me the family that gives you a pizza party as a reward for 100 hours of mandatory overtime. A lukewarm slice of pepperoni to compensate for your crumbling mental health. Show me the family that posts record profits and then gives you a 2% cost of living adjustment while inflation hits 8. Show me the family that has an unlimited PTO policy, but culturally shames you, guilts you, and denies you every single time you try to actually use it. Show me the family that lays off 10,000 people over a 3-minute Zoom call right before the holidays, while the CEO who made the call collects a $40 million bonus. That is not a family. That is a high-stakes, emotionally manipulative, one-sided relationship. It is corporate gaslighting. They use the language of love to demand the sacrifice of loyalty. They use the language of belonging to demand the surrender of your boundaries. They want the family commitment without any of the family responsibility. And the loud quitter is just the kid at the dinner table who finally stands up and says it. This is fake. You don't love me. You are using me. And this whole performance is over. They're not just quitting a job. They are divorcing the family. And that divorce is happening because the entire promise of the family turned out to be a scam. This is the final piece. The loud quit is the sound of the hustle culture promise finally, definitively breaking. For decades, we were sold one script, one path, rise and grind. You see the memes. You see the influencers. Work harder than everyone else. Be the first one in, the last one out. Sleep is for the weak. Grind in your 20 seconds so you can live in your 30 seconds. It was a religion, a cult of productivity, where burnout was a badge of honor and exhaustion was a status symbol. We were told the latter was real. Climate, hustle, suffer now for a guaranteed reward later. In my generation, we did. We took on the debt. We got the degrees. We worked the unpaid internships. We drank the coffee. We skipped the sleep. We replied to the 10 p.m. emails. We did the hustle. We did the grind. And we got to the finish line. Only to find out the finish line was a joke. The reward for grinding, it isn't success. It's just more grinding. The reward for your loyalty isn't a promotion. It's the workload of the 3 people who just got laid off. The reward for paying your dues is the realization that the dues never, ever end. We climbed the ladder, only to find it was leaning against the wrong wall. Or worse, that the rungs were greased. We see a system where the grind is just a euphemism for exploitation. A system that demands 100% of your life in exchange for a paycheck that doesn't even cover the cost of, well, living. So when you see that TikTok, that loud quit, that isn't a 2-3-year-old being lazy. That is a 2-3-year-old who just did the math. That is someone who realized the game is rigged, and the only winning move is not to play. They're not burning a bridge. They are burning a contract that was predatory from the start. So, no. The media wants to frame this as a Gen Z attitude problem. The executives want to call this entitlement. The managers want to complain that no one is loyal. But they're missing the point. This isn't an attitude problem. This is a system problem. This isn't entitlement. This is exhaustion. This isn't a new, shocking phenomenon. It's just the first time in history that the breaking point has been filmed. It has been hashtagged. It has been set to a trending audio clip. It's the same scream of protest workers have had for 100 years. It's just finally loud enough for you to hear it. This isn't a trend. It's a revelation. A conclusion. It's the sound of the machine finally breaking down. So let's call it what it is. Loud quitting isn't a strategy. It's the final, explosive symptom of a toxic system. It's the inevitable sound of the hustle culture promise breaking.